Welcome to the first ever weekly edition of Portside with the Pilots. I'm your host, Adam Lindman. All year long, we'll bring you special features, highlights, previews, and more every Wednesday night right here on CSN. Well, last weekend had a lot of excitement on the Bluff as the students returned for orientation, which included the men's soccer season opener and the 40th anniversary celebration of varsity soccer here at UP. And on Friday, the Pilots hosted UNLV at Merlo Field, and the place was packed. The match was preceded by the always popular Bite on the Bluff, and overall 4,385 fans attended the match, which included an impressive 2,113 students. On the field, sophomore Benji Michelle got the Pilots on the board when he finished across from Jason Romero to put the home side up 1-0 in the 14th minute. And after the Rebels equalized, Portland reclaimed the lead in the 37th minute when sophomore Gio Magana Rivero slotted one in. Moments later, the match took a turn when Hano Anthony was shown a straight red card in the 39th minute, meaning the Pilots would have to play a man down for the rest of the night. UNLV evened the score in the 68th minute, and they eventually headed to extra time. That's where the Pilots had a chance at the end of the second overtime, but they couldn't capitalize on a corner, and shortly after, the Rebels were awarded a free kick from about 75 yards out. Goalkeeper Enrique Adama sent a long ball towards the top of the 18, which took a few bounces before Daniel Moran headed it in to send UNLV home with a stunning 3-2 win. On Sunday, in front of nearly 1,000 students, the Pilots scored early and often against the Fairfield Stags. Michelle got things started once again, this time in the 16th minute on a nice ball played forward by Ray Ortiz. That put the Pilots up 1-0. Michelle would score twice more in the next 10 minutes as the sophomore netted a hat trick by the 26th minute, and there was no looking back. Senior Jason Romero added a hat trick of his own, notching his first goal as a Pilot in the 37th minute. The Pilots went on to cruise past the Stags 6-0.
Our guys had an edge and a competitive grit and greatness to them, and they were hungry to score goals, and we started strong, we finished strong. It was a comprehensive performance. It wasn't just Benji and Jason getting hat tricks, but I thought our back four and Paul getting the first shutout was huge.
For his efforts last weekend, Benji Michelle was named the first WCC Men's Soccer Player of the Week of the season. Overall, Michelle scored 4 goals in 2 matches, including a hat trick within that 10-minute span against Fairfield. The women's team officially began 2017 with a 2-1 home win over crosstown rival Portland State on Friday, August 18th. Senior Hannah Griffith's Boston scored twice for the Pilots in the season-opening win, giving her 5 goals in the past 2 years against the Vikings. 2 days later, the Pilots hosted 23rd-ranked NC State, who made an appearance in the NCAA Sweet 16 a season ago. The Pilots were solid defensively, but in the end, the Wolfpack escaped Merlo Field with a 1-0 win. On Friday, the Pilots got back in the win column with a 1-0 victory at UC Davis. Portland capitalized on a UC Davis own goal in the 62nd minute, which provided to be the difference. UC Irvine was the next stop for the Pilots on Monday night as the Pilots concluded their road trip. The Pilots fell behind early 1-0 in the first half, and the Anteaters would scored twice more after the break en route to that 3-0 win. The volleyball program is off to a solid 3-0 start after winning the Rumble and the Rockies last weekend in Wyoming. The Pilots swept the first 2 matches against Abilene Christian and South Dakota before winning a 5-set thriller against host Wyoming on Saturday. Senior Hannah Troutman was named the tournament MVP, while Reagan Pukas and Kerry Williams were named to the all-tournament team. And coming up next, we'll speak to the man who guided the Pilots to that 3-0 start as head coach Brent Crouch stops by. You're watching Portside of the Pilots here on CSN.